Fanatically Correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
That was a close call, huh, Goosey? Huh? Those bad guys still in there somewhere. Oh, mother!
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, Yo Peace, and Omega.
Like I said, we're the Fanatically Correct podcast. I'm Omega.
MSK.
Yo, peace.
So this episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Ben & Johnny's Barbershop. You can go to benandjohnny's.com. You can schedule your appointments and everything. We're giving out prizes, free haircuts. We've given out 2 so far today. We got 2 more to give away. So there might be a situation here. We might have a quick contest or trivia or something fast, and someone could win that or a couple other prizes we might have, Marvel-related. So back to Captain Marvel. Who's a Flurgan fan? Goose.
Goose
is awesome.
Yep. All right, so how'd you guys feel about Nick Fury losing his eye?
That's how he lost his eye, exactly.
You accepted
Yeah, I'm still not accepting that.
What's funny is the joke works, as he said he lost it to someone he trusted or something like that, and he's messing with the
Technically,
cat.
he wasn't wrong.
No,
he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
I don't know, man. It's a match with Nick Fury's awesomeness.
The best about the cat scratch, and we're going something goofy right out the gate, is like every time the Skrull guy would look at him about something, and he's like, "Nah, it'll be all right." And the Skrull guy's like nodding his head, like, "No,
Yeah.
like, that looks bad," and
Yeah.
lost an eye over it. I mean, impressive. So yeah, Captain Marvel's a good setup. Yeah, it was a good film, great way to start out the year, leading into Endgame. I personally, it's like probably like a top 10 movie.
Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Not for me.
For me, it was actually
for
up
me.
there.
It's
Top
I mean,
10 movies for you. That's what you said?
Top 10
No,
out
top
of,
10 of the Marvel of the MCU.
Of the Marvel.
Of the Marvel.
Yeah, of MCU. No, I'm not throwing out
of the
top
Marvels.
10 movies.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
the
could see
Marvel.
that. I could see that.
No,
And we're not going to run down every Marvel movie, but
No,
I don't
no,
see.
we're not doing that. We're
Coming to
gonna try to stick
mind,
to-
I don't think it makes my top 10.
I mean, they did announce they are going to be doing a Captain Marvel 2. I mean, they don't have a release date or anything like that. That was just a face, exactly. Yeah, that was just one of the things that Kevin Feige just threw out at the last second with Mutants and Fantastic Four and all that. So we'll see how that ends up being. But I think, the good thing was the whole. This is going to be fun because MSK has not seen Far From Home.
Wait a minute.
He just assumes things. But I did see Far From Home.
Oh,
When-
okay.
when did you
so do
see
you know the
Far
story,
From
the setup with the
I
Skrulls?
saw it last night.
Nice. Okay, he
Saw it last
surprised
night.
us. Our host surprised us. So you know the setup with the Skrulls?
I know everything. Yeah.
Okay. He goes, all right, well, I'm not going to ruin this for you in case you're just trying not to
but
make us feel
before
bad.
you start, though, spoiler alert for everybody.
So anyone who's not seen yet, everyone here seen Spider-Man Far From Home? Okay, good. Thank you.
just
so much
Everyone's
for
seen
being
it.
here.
Okay.
I don't
Thank
want
you
to
for
hurt
being here.
anybody.
Everyone outside that's about to listen to it, sorry.
Yeah, sorry if you haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yep.
But what I like was the whole scroll setup that we had in the Spider-Man Far From Home, and because of Captain Marvel. So we had that setup, and if you watched Far From Home, they actually had a lot of setup for that. I mean, were people really surprised by that? Was anybody actually figured that out early on? That they were going that route? Like, right? Nobody. I mean, that's the incredible thing about Far From Home. You have like a double twist in that film.
Yeah.
You have the mid-credit twist and then the post-credit twist.
Which was great.
Yeah, which is
awesome.
insane.
Yeah.
And the post-credit twist is like, with them being the Skrulls the whole time.
I did feel like Nick Fury was easily fooled throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah,
that twist comes out, I was
yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And he was more Nick Fury than he's
Yeah.
ever been. Like, it was like Samuel L. Jackson was playing Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
makes sense, because if someone's trying to, like, that's what you do. When you're impersonating somebody, you always impersonate, like, the larger things in them. When you do Al Pacino, you're always yelling. When you're Christopher
Yeah.
Walken, you're over-emphasizing everything. So it's the same thing. It's like, he's trying to be, Nick Fury, which is Samuel Jackson.
Right.
So he's being, like, overly...
He's overacting
Nick
as
Fury.
himself.
And then, yeah, he was
Yeah.
easily fooled. Yeah, go ahead. What's your... Yes. Yeah. No, I think it was definitely Nick Fury at the funeral. I don't think that was the scroll the whole time.
Yeah, that was definitely
Yeah, so he
Nick Fury.
definitely called Captain Marvel. He
Yeah.
was at the funeral, but the whole setup is that we don't know where the Avengers are now. And then obviously when we watch Far From Home, they're totally setting up and building Spider-Man as the new Iron Man.
As the new Iron Man, yeah.
Everything. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he called her though. I think he thought all the other heroes were fully capable of handling it before. Now the Thanos thing, that's for sure. He did the right thing by about calling her.
Yeah.
Well, that was the last
Yeah, that was
resort.
Last resort.
That was
yeah.
next level. Which I think she could have had a little bit more of a fight with Thanos. I mean, everyone makes the jokes about the whole she probably could have snapped and not died from it. So
Yeah.
the whole thing where like with Doctor Strange, who one of our guests over here thinks that's a real villain of of Endgame. I mean, everyone makes a joke that he's pointing up, like give it to Captain Marvel, she could snap it. It'll be all right. And Tony's like, exactly. I'm Iron Man. Like it was horrible. But no, it was great. But horrible that he had to lose. Again, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think everyone. I mean, they're here
Tony
for a
Stark.
reason.
But yeah, so
I
what I enjoy most about the scroll setup is that we do have the Avengers gone off world. We don't know where. He doesn't know where. He says, I don't know what to say. And that setup goes to show everything that's going to be coming. Blade, possibly. They already announced that. Whatever else they start bringing in these new heroes, maybe Namor. I mean, there's a lot of talk that's going to start feeding off all these other films.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man, after he gets to what they left him at, which is, everyone's hunting him. He's the bad guy now.
Yeah.
He's the villain. Thank you, Mysterio. And is that we're going to get
so
newer
glad.
heroes and he be the center.
He would be Tony Stark.
Like Tony
They're-
Stark was.
They're
exactly.
essentially setting his next movie up to be like the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah, it
where
was-
everyone knows he's the hero, and now he's gonna be kind of like the lead of like the new Avengers. That's what I'm getting from it. That they're kind of just gonna start up the franchise with
Maybe.
him.
I think that it's almost like Guardians of the Galaxy were not a household name. They're obviously going to be diving deep into space, hence the whole showing Nick Fury out in space
Yeah.
and most likely the other Avengers out in space. So we're going to get a segment of heroes that are going to have nothing to do with Spider-Man because they're going to be space heroes. And it's also a way to bring in villains because one of the things I think they're talking about is they don't want to do the big buildup like they did with Thanos again, which understandably is a hard thing to do, to have 20 movies, 23 movies, build up
hard.
to one villain and make sure you keep that, cohesiveness with all of that. So I feel that they'll do a lot of the transition villains, like Adam Warlock will become a hero. That's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They already Easter egged that and hinted at that in Volume 2. Yeah,
Volume 2.
In Volume 2. We'll definitely get a Galactus as
we
a
got the
big
Eternals
villain.
coming up.
So with Galactus as a villain, Fantastic Four, Feige announced it.
Yeah.
So you start seeing them. Namor will probably pop up on the Earth side with Wakanda. That most likely they're gonna go with the storylines that haven't been touched already, because that's something big of the MCU. Just like they're doing with the Spider-Man, they're really not. We most likely won't see a Doc Ock, even though it's a great villain. And luckily we had a good reprisal of that in the Toby verse. But I think that, and like you see, they're not repeating villains for the most part. So I think they're going to repeat characters because there's too many loved X-Men that we can't not have. Cyclops, obviously Professor X, Wolverine, they'll work their way to it. Certain ones I'll probably just throw away. Mystique got extremely overused a little bit, in the first movies, and then completely character change in the other one. So I'm pretty sure that in the X-Men verse, we'll get a lot of big heroes, but newer storylines or less popular comic books, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And that will be the foundation
Or
of how they're bringing-
storylines done correctly.
Yeah. That's true.
Mainly.
I haven't seen that
storylines.
movie. I refuse to see that movie.
I refuse
Yeah,
to
so
see
the
that
X-Men
movie,
universe is
too.
a bit of a touchy subject.
Yeah,
in
he
this
loves all the.
podcast.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna throw him on the.
I don't
bus.
love 'em.
He
I
loves all the
enjoy
X-Men
them.
movies,
No, he loves them.
and
I wouldn't
don't
say
so
love,
much.
but he watches them all.
I'm
He
not
watches
love.
them all.
Hey, it's there are a lot of people who like franchises that they're not great. They admit they're not great, but they enjoy them anyways. And
that's
that's
fine.
why I'm a hypocrite because I rag on Fast and Furious fans, but when it comes to that, I get it. I like them. I enjoy them. I will not say they're good movies though. I won't, especially if Dark Phoenix was not. That was by far the worst X-Men of the first class.
I just
that they
hope
made so far.
with them coming into the Marvel universe, they really take time in fleshing out all those characters. Especially, they've used Wolverine so much in the movies that there's so many other characters that they could use that they haven't really touched on yet, and I really hope so.
It's
Rogue,
hard.
yeah, they
It's
touched on Rogue a
Rogue.
little bit, but
not the real Rogue.
not like the real way.
But here's
Right.
Yeah.
here's the fun setup by having going back to Captain Marvel. The good thing about not having Captain Marvel already in the universe is you can work your way over to Miss Marvel, which I know they're going to do the more recent Miss Marvel, I believe, is the talk or rumors of the plan. And you can actually do the real Rogue that we got from the X-Men animated series, which in the comic books is
Right.
based where she drained, I believe it was Miss Marvel, pretty much to death. And that's why
Until her
she's
powers, yeah.
super strong, can fly, all the other abilities. And that being said, that would be a good way to bring like a rogue character in. I don't know if they'll stick to mutants like the way they do the mutants. They never really said who were
I
the
think
parents.
they will. I think they're
You think they
actually.
will?
I think they will,
I
yeah.
think they're actually gonna do mutants the right way this time.
Yeah, maybe they do a connection when they bring in Magneto to Scarlet Witch, because she's already a thing, and that's, her father. Spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make that connection because they already established her as
Yeah, she's not a mutant.
something
She's
else.
a science project,
But
gone wrong.
I mean,
Well, not gone right, actually.
we're just gonna have to see how they're gonna work with the mutants.
Possibly.
Yeah, they could do that. They could do a multiverse.
I mean, it could
situation.
be
They could do
any
a bunch
multiverse.
of different
I think would be
things.
the easiest way to do
Yeah.
it. Just
In the back?
Yeah,
That's also
could
a
be
big
also
theory.
a way.
that too.
Yeah.
That could also
We've
be a
talked
way.
about that in other episodes, and actually,
Yeah.
We actually
personally,
talked about it, yeah.
Personally, I enjoy that theory. I
That
think
would be awesome.
that's pretty clever, because then we'd get a really young X-Men. And actually, what I was saying in our podcast this morning for Saturday Morning Cartoons, because that's one of the best X-Men
Cartoons.
It's the best X-Men cartoon, one of the best cartoons of a superhero show, period. But that's something that I was saying they could follow with that, is be smart, have a really young class, go with the original X-Men. In other words, go Iceman, Angel, Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey. No Wolverine yet. Come later down the line. Start really young and start working your way. You could have some mutants that have been around hiding, like a Professor X, a Magneto, a few of the older key ones, and that now a mutant gene has become a thing. They'll start coming out of hiding.
Yeah,
to
so
start
it's a
embracing
refresh on
the
First
new
Class,
world.
pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah, just better.
Yeah.
Well, he's one of the most compelling characters that
by
should
far.
have got a movie himself.
Yeah, and not to write for them, they could go blanket that part of almost all mutants. Like that's a way they could tell the difference between mutants and other people who have powers for different reasons. Is it can kind of push the concept that, because that's what First Class was doing without saying it, apparently, is that it takes a lot longer to age. Because that's where First Class messed
yeah,
up.
I'm
They
not
didn't
gonna
make
get
that.
into that, yeah.
They didn't explain that in the powers, and it's like, this kid's 20. Why am I supposed to pretend now he's 35?
Yeah.
And and it's the same thing. It's like, how's Professor X already in his 60s? He doesn't look anything like it. By every film jumping a decade.
there's no explaining that.
and
That's
using
Fox
such
not
actors.
knowing what they're doing.
Exactly. So I have
That's
more
actually
faith.
Fox knowing exactly how
No,
to mess things up.
100%. Yeah, they might set up some other. I
Yeah.
mean, we also got the Eternals coming out. We also have the Black Widow movie that's actually going to be a prequel.
Right.
So we'll see what they unveil.
We'll see what they do with Doctor
of a
Strange
Hydra
also,
sect.
and
yeah, and then
that-
you also
that's
have
a
the
good
10
point.
rings.
Rings,
Yeah,
yeah.
Catching the 10 rings. So they're going to bring in the real Mandarin.
The real, which I'm
the
kind
real
of tired
Mandarin.
about, but yeah.
Which do you still think that's
The
a cop
real-
out?
the
or are
real
you looking
fake-
forward to
It's
it?
for
Mandarin.
sure a cop out, but okay.
But are you looking
At least
forward
we're
to
gonna.
it?
No, I'm
Now
looking
they're
forward
gonna
to
give
it.
you the Mandarin you
I
want.
really want. No, they are
I
going to give
honestly
a good
don't
Mandarin.
care about the Mandarin.
And it's Ben Kingsley again.
I
honestly
guarantee you, it's
speaking,
gonna. If they do it correctly, it's gonna be good.
And it'll be Ben Kingsley again.
I really never care about it.
It should. I just think the other guy, they made him
It's-
look like him.
yeah.
It's just
Because they said that he did plastic
just a cool
surgery and
bad
everything
guy.
to look like him.
That's all it is. It has the black market on hold.
Yes.
He
And
was.
That's why
He
you
fooled
didn't
everyone day.
see him.
You never
becoming-
saw that coming.
No one saw it coming. That's what
No
was
one
the
saw
best
that
part of that
coming.
movie. The only good part of the movie. That's the word. I agree with
I
you.
love that
I
twist
agree
so
with you.
much. So bad, I
It's-
love it.
I don't
A
want to
lot
talk
of people
about that
dislike
movie.
that and everything. Which, in credits, a lot of people, I don't know if anybody in this room didn't notice that. In Iron Man, at the end of Endgame, during the Tony Stark funeral, actually, out of the three of us, the person who hates that film the
I hate
most
that movie so
is
much.
the one who recognized that kid
Yeah.
all by himself. And watching, like, who is that? Like, is that like Kevin
Yeah.
Feige's son or something? Like, just threw him in there. Like, you
Yeah.
got to give me something.
like, yeah, that's the kid from
I
Iron
don't know.
Man.
And he recognized it. He goes, isn't that the kid from Iron Man 3? I'm like, for someone who hates that movie, you paid some close attention.
Yeah, I played way too much close attention there.
Which I really hope, personally, this is an Omega hope, and I think a lot of people are theorizing out there on the internet, anyways, that they really are
Internets.
building up towards a Young Avengers with Hawkeye's daughter, Hawkeye, with that kid as a new Iron Man, with the daughter of Ant-Man, because these are all characters in the comic books that their kids are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna do it,
I'm
but they
hoping for that.
have a setup for it, which is great. Like, I'm sure somewhere in their writers' room they said, "Hey, let's set these kids up just in case we want to do these characters later on."
One thing I can say is that I've seen Disney create something good for us, and I trust them in the next phases. And I like the idea that it's all, like a setup for whatever anything possible can be made with Disney
Yep.
Yeah.
backing them up and Marvel together.
No, and they're throwing-
that
I
whole
mean-
dynamic. It's not like unfortunately the other side
Oh,
of the other comic book.
DC.
And it is what it is. Like,
Yeah. No, it is.
they didn't give us everything exactly how we wanted it, but I think they've done very well for the fans.
Yeah,
as
it's,
far
and it's
as-
hard.
as
It's
far
hard
as
to do something
movies.
what they did with 22 movies
Yeah.
together,
And
continuity
put
wise.
Put it all together like that.
Yeah. The thing that DC is really missing is a Kevin Feige person to have
yeah.
control over everything, oversee everything, how everything connects. I mean, and everyone's trying to do it now. Everyone's trying to do the Marvel thing now.
With the rumors of J.J. Abrams, well, not rumors that he's involved now with Warner Brothers, but with the rumors that they might be talking and negotiating for him to basically run their DC, that it gives hope to that, because if they have someone like Abrams be the Feige of DC, basically reboot everything, finish off with Wonder Woman, which is great, so just finish it off, which they didn't do.
But
for
they
Man
don't
of
have
Steel.
their own studio.
Yeah.
They still
Wait a
need
minute, is this a
backup
Marvel
from.
panel?
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's hope. But it's true. Yeah, that's the whole thing with the MCU, that everyone's talking about it. There's talk about a G.I. Joe Transformers
Right.
like universe.
Yeah, everyone.
They tried it. It hasn't worked so far. The Dark Universe with
That's already done. They're
with
not
the
going to do
Mummy,
it.
yeah, with the
They're not
Mummy
gonna do it.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
going to do the Wolfman and bring them together. We have the Godzilla one, which we are going to get, Godzilla versus King Kong. So it is, Marvel has laid that foundation that they did in their comic books with crossovers and all of that. So they, again, just like everything has to have something post-credit is, also a big Marvel stitch that you get something at every film. So yeah, we have a lot to thank Marvel for. You got to think that Guardians of the Galaxy for the masses was like a complete swing in the dark. And they turned that into gold. So the idea and now we'll see what happens with the Eternals. I think the same thing. Not a lot of people are familiar with the Eternals. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So, they tried it with, what was that other one that bombed that they tried to do a series of? Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No. The Inhumans?
The Inhumans.
The Inhumans,
that one just...
They were talking about
I didn't even watch that.
I thought you were talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, at least they're about
7
to wrap
seasons.
up.
I mean, what, 7, right?
Yeah.
7 seasons?
No, it's
great.
it's a decent show. It
I
started
couldn't get
really
into
bad. It started really bad, and then the hard thing was that the trying to make the continuity match the film.
Right.
Not everybody watches the film as soon as it comes out, and to be forced by a TV show you're watching week to week to tell you got to go watch this movie now because we're about to spoil things for you next week. That kind of turned a lot of people off, so they started getting far away. But now they're so far away, it's like, how do you really exist in the same universe now? How is none of the other Avengers noticing that this is happening over here? So that's why they had to wrap it up. I mean, they really couldn't. There was rumors that they were going to try and carry some people from that over into the straight up Avengers or whatnot. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime.
I mean, they could still use. I don't know where Coulson is in the show because I don't watch the series. But I mean, I guess they could always.
I mean, they brought him back for Captain Marvel, but it was a small role. And it was nice to see him back. Everything that's going to come now. I mean, I loved everything we got out of Comic-Con. I think that was probably the most exciting panel. Marvel went out there, Kevin Feige went out there, they went nuts. They were announcing all the series that are coming out. I mean, Disney's throwing everything. I mean, they're putting so much money into Marvel. I mean, they can afford to.
I want to see what they do with Blade, because that needs to be rated R. I don't know if they're going to do
rated R. It better be rated R.
But Mahershala is going to be
We got
awesome.
the Deadpool thing.
Yeah? Bob, man, I don't know. That's a Disney.
They're trying to bring
I
in
really
Deadpool.
hope that Sony's going to share more properties. So they can make money. I mean, obviously, I would think they want to make money, and they're doing great with Spider-Man and sharing that. So,
Venom, Venom's
exactly.
getting the second director there for Venom 2 is
I actually
Andy
like the
Serkis.
movie. I didn't think they did a horrible job. I think could have done better, but
Marvel would have made it. Yeah, Marvel would have definitely made it better, but it was not
But the
as
movie
bad
was
as I
not
thought it was
bad,
going to be.
though.
No, it wasn't.
No. But I hopefully Morbius is what I'm heading out to, since we're talking about Blade, that Morbius will somehow connect to Blade, because that's like a direct connect to Spider-Man, direct connect.
Well, he's
to
getting his own movie too,
Blade.
so we'll see if
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So with a
connects
Morbius film and a Blade film, if they either one or both cameo each other's post credits or something like that, that's a direct link to Spider-Man. That's a direct link to Marvel.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. His favorite X-Men.
Jubilee.
No?
Stop it.
No?
Everyone knows.
You don't like fireworks?
Stop it. They are pretty cool at night, though.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that's what I like. They didn't do that. Yeah, but that's why I'm hoping that they just use what Sony started, because he actually has no connection to Spider-Man. Again, we already had it. And same
with Venom.
The Sony Venom.
Yeah.
He has nothing to do with Spider. That's my point. He's in LA instead of New York. So I was saying, so the clever thing is now with the groundwork set up for maybe a Sinister Six, because a smart thing to do now, especially with Morbius, if he's an anti-hero, just like Venom right now is an anti-hero, if they're thinking Spider-Man's the bad guy, what a great way to get two anti-heroes to join a group of villains
to stop the bad guy,
pretending to be heroes to stop the bad guy. You introduce them in there, and then they turn, well, not heel, but actually turn good at the end to help Spider-Man. But it would be interesting to have that, for him to have to face already a good setup, Venom, even though they're talking about Carnage, which that works to then have Spider-Man in his film, because Venom to take on Carnage and all the other symbiotic villains that are along with Carnage, Venom can't handle them on his own. So with Spider-Man's help, that would be smart to bring them together.
Yeah, I just want to see what they're gonna do with Spider-Man, because the ending credits was awesome.
It's crazy.
It reminded me of Iron Man, the
Yes.
first Iron Man movie, where he's just like, I'm Iron Man.
Yep.
But not so much, like he
This
didn't
is
want.
bigger.
No, not the way
This
he
is
wanted.
like-
this is way bigger.
Yeah, this is way big. And he's like,
Yeah.
what the? Yeah, his
Yeah.
reaction was perfect.
And that's
so I
what
want to see where they go with
everything
that.
was a callback to Iron Man, because that's what they did. At the end,
Yeah.
Tony Stark revealed his identity, and at the end, Spider-Man's identity gets
Got revealed, yeah.
And then even, of course, everyone, the nostalgic scene where he's there building the
Yeah,
suit.
I love Led Zeppelin,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
love-
AC/DC,
He gets it
obviously.
wrong.
But yeah, and that was
And it's
perfect. That was
AC/DC.
perfect.
But yeah, and everything about that, and even the whole, just everything with the storyline, that he's trying to not be the hero, just like Iron Man in the first one is trying not to. Just everything that they did, and then he has all the backing now of Stark Enterprises. He has the money, the satellites, that they need to create.
Yeah. Which is funny, because have you guys seen that meme with War Machine? There's like, oh, Tony left all this stuff to a 16-year-old kid, but I've been your friend for ages, and you didn't give it to me. Yeah.
But they're giving him the pop that unfortunately that he was supposed to get in Civil War. Because I understand from the comic books, I didn't read all of Civil War. I read about half of it right before the movie came out and jumped to it. But Peter Parker had a very significant role, and that's when he reveals his identities in Civil War. And he had a very significant role in Civil War, and here that's how they introduced him. So now, where he would have been more of a focal point in Civil War, now he'll be the focal point of the phases to come, in that aspect. It's crazy. So I think they'll jump a few years. These kids are in their 20s.
They did jump a few
Yeah,
years.
well, no, they
it's
did.
20,
Well,
23
5
or something.
years, yeah, but they're supposed to be dating in age 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think that before we get Spider-Man back, the timeline will jump another 3 to 5
Yeah.
years. So we have a 20-something Peter Parker. They'll kind of yada yada. This is what he's been going through because he's a villain and he's on the run. He's being chased. So we can get more of a young man Spider-Man now that we had the 2 kid films, and again make him a more central point and make him basically the Tony.
They're going to
Stark.
come up with 6 more.
So in 10
Spider-Man
years they can
films.
kill him, and we all feel bad.
Yeah, he's gonna have. He's contracted for so many films
Yes.
now, so they're gonna use him
Yeah,
until
they got
he's
him
like 30
smart.
something.
Just like Mark Ruffalo.
But now that you brought up Civil War, I know last year when we did this panel, Civil War was on your top 3.
Yes.
Given that we have Endgame and Captain Marvel and Far From Home, does that change anything, or is that still your top 3?
Oh wow! Personally, for me, that's rough because same thing that happened with all these movies. I have Endgame and Far From Home. This is a hard question because when you ask it, like 3 years from now, I'll say something else.
Yep,
But
that's
the
why I
whole
asked
thing
it.
with Spider-Man Far From Home, who here loved that Mysterio scene? And you all know the one I'm talking about. Clap for that scene. Clap for that scene. We were talking about that cartoon this morning on Saturday morning cartoons, and that was something that I didn't even know I wanted. You know what I mean? Like
That scene was awesome. That reminded me straight up from
the cartoon and the
Yeah.
comic book. Which when
not
I
his
saw
Mandarin scene, but
Yeah.
that scene was great.
But that's so true. Like I didn't know that was something I needed to see as a comic book cartoon fan, and especially with the story they sell us. Which again, we can't trust Marvel. Like what do you think with the whole multiverse? I'm like, hey, maybe this Mysterio's not going to be a villain, and that's going to be the twist at the end, which maybe won't be a twist because we're all expecting it. They'll cast another Mysterio.
Yeah.
Until that thing fell, and then you knew
Which
it
is
right
the
away.
same
I was
guy.
kind of
Because of the
suspect
camera.
by that though, because he's just
Yeah.
like, oh, he's from another multiverse. Like that's
Exactly.
it. And Nick Fury,
And
like,
he's doing it.
There's nothing else. Like, but how did
So-
he get here? Like, there was no
So
explanation on that.
when we got that scene and they gave us all the Easter eggs, the zombie Iron Man, they gave us the snow globe when he actually decided his head. Everything they did, and then to put things that the cartoon didn't even think about, like when he's punching the wall and then you see the wall, unclear, and then he's like tricking him, and then he throws him into the train. Everything about that scene, the reality stuff mixed in with all the CGI basically is what it was in his own mind, and he's even wearing the suit. That's awesome. Like what a throw to the whole CGI team of Marvel
it's awesome.
Studios
The
that
CGI
they're
is
actually
incredible.
wearing the suit that they used to film all those scenes.
Yeah.
And then the concept of if you're a fan of illusionist or magic shows or anything like that, the concept that he's a production, because that was even a bigger step up than what the cartoon did, what the comic books did, which he was just this one guy who was a special effects guy. And he did all of that by himself. But the idea of no, it's a team Mysterio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has, and then the way they use Stark, technology to help with that. And so you have, holographic imaging, you have robotics, you have those, drones, all these things to create this one character to make him seem as believable as the heroes that are actually in the world. It's like, that's another step up. I was like, this is so smart. You know,
Yeah.
like such an intelligent way to come about Mysterio.
So just to go segue back,
yeah,
does that beat the three
Far
movies
from,
that are on your
because
list?
of that scene,
I
Far
think
From Home is in
Civil
my
War
top
is
3.
out of your top 3.
Yeah,
is
that's
what
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying.
I was doing the. So yeah, it's in my top 3 because of that scene. Because the whole
Which
Mysterio
one?
scene, Far From Home.
Okay.
It's my
Far
top-
From Home,
And
okay.
and Endgame, unfortunately, I mean not unfortunately, fortunately, has to be in my top 3 because of that scene, which is everybody versus everybody. I mean, I don't know who else felt in that room while you're watching that scene of like, and you're looking at the time. It's like, you know what? Maybe they lied. This isn't going to be a 3-hour movie, and they're going to cliffhanger me right here because there's no way I'm getting this right now. And I mean, once everyone started coming out of Portal, and you just see them all line up, I'm like, this is the stuff I dreamed about playing with my toys in my room
Yeah.
as a kid. Or
Yeah.
you just like line them all up, and like you had to borrow things from like He-Man characters. You know,
Yeah.
you didn't have all the
Yeah,
figures you
Gumby
needed.
Of
and
course.
like
Yeah,
random,
Gumby.
They
random
had a
choices.
G.I. Joe,
Gumby and
whatever,
Pokey.
whatever was there.
Yeah.
And there's like, it's just you just couldn't
Little toy
imagine it was really
soldiers.
gonna happen.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
And then it did. So I just because of those 2 scenes, I mean, it's almost like I say with the like, you know, throwing another DC thing of Batman v Superman. That one scene in the building where he's saving Superman's mom, you know, Clark Kent's mom,
Yeah.
makes that movie tolerable. Like I wouldn't say it's a good movie, but I don't hate it.
That's a
because
different panel. We're
at
not
least
talking
had
about
that.
DC.
What are we
Yeah.
t-
We're not talking about
But yeah,
DC.
no,
How did we
actually,
get there?
Right
Yeah,
now,
he
it's
likes going to
right now
DC.
it's in my top 3. So actually, Winter Soldier's in my top. I just kicked out like Infinity War.
So it's Winter Soldier, Spider-Man, Far From Home,
and
and
Endgame.
Endgame in that order?
and not in that order. I think Winter Soldier's still my number 1.
That's still hard for you. Okay.
That's still my
What
number
about you, Yopis? Where are you at?
Did they get into your top 3 at all?
Civil War still number 1 for me.
Civil
your
War?
Civil
No, Winter
War?
Soldier.
Just kidding.
I mean, you mean Winter Soldier?
Winter
Just
Soldier.
kidding.
Who here's a Winter Soldier fan? Yeah. Oh, hands
Yeah,
applaud.
it's
Applaud
still the
for
best
that
one.
movie. It's still
Yeah.
great. Is that
Yeah.
still like the core?
Still. Yeah.
That's amazing that they with all the budget and all the CGI and everything they had, that the brothers could not top their first.
Yeah.
As
but-
good as
well,
they all are, they just like they
you
just
know what it
still
is
caught
that
us unexpected.
Winter Soldier still seems the world building in Winter Soldier, and aside from the espionage and all that, like I still feel like people are still living in this world, right? In Endgame, that big battle, it was all superheroes all out, but I feel like there was like no
The
one
substance
living
to it
in
wasn't
this
as deep as
area. You
want.
know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh no. Just
does.
as an espionage
It
movie
does.
as itself, it's perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's all of our top 3s.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
That's my top
Yeah,
movie.
all
That's
3 of
my-
us is our top. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, we saw that. He loves that scene. That's his favorite.
When I heard that rumor, the first thing I did was
I want that movie.
find a screen pic of that, and I zoomed in like, oh my god, it's
I want
true.
that movie.
Howard the Duck is in that scene. I hope they don't. You know what? It
hope-
might be
I
good.
hope
especially-
they do.
And every time if they do a Deadpool Howard the Duck crossover, I can get behind that.
That would be kind of.
That would be
I could get
amazing.
behind
That would
that.
kind of crazy.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna play around with
Yeah.
the Guardians and Thor.
I think
situation.
he'll be.
As Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll be in each other's films a little bit. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy will be at the beginning of Thor, and then he'll be, and they might maybe Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and they prequel it because they kind of did that with the Wasp and Ant-Man before Infinity War.
Yeah.
Well, after Infinity War, then it was like
After,
pre.
right.
So they might do the same thing. They go back to Guardians. Like, in other words, it starts with something that happened with the Guardians of the Galaxy. You have your Thor story, and then the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 leads into Thor. So we'll see, because I mean they could play around with it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna get that with
You might get that.
The Hawkeye series is gonna do a lot of flashbacks.
You're right.
Or
they
yeah,
should have.
actually that could be a whole prequel.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's why I don't put that movie in my top 3. Is because it felt off.
Yeah.
It felt like
Endgame.
Endgame.
Yeah.
Endgame.
Yeah, and not
It
everything
just
could
felt
get
like,
hashed out, man.
It was
It's
like
22
okay,
years
here's
of-
5 years in the future, but like it just felt like
Yeah.
I need more. They did.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, underutilized too.
They disservice a couple of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the way they
Yeah.
filmed it. It's just the way
Yeah.
they
It's a little
filmed it.
unprepared.
Yeah.
We're gonna-
Endgame, and I mean, I don't know if it changed your. So Endgame's definitely not in your.
Not my
It's just
top.
the same top 3 that you have.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same way because Infinity War is still a better movie in my opinion.
I think
Yeah,
so.
And that's
overall, Infinity War-
that's still my number 2.
I mean, if I am gonna put
That
Endgame, it's
scene.
got to be both movies together. It can't be just.
Oh, so it's like Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2?
we will not talk about that.
Yeah,
There's some kids in the crowd, but are any Tarantino fans in the crowd?
The
Yeah.
I
All right,
just
so
have
the
right
one
there.
right
Look.
Quick applause if you feel Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 are one movie. All right. Now, let's see if it's the same group. Quick applause if you think Infinity War and Endgame are one movie. Not as much. Right?
I don't think it is. I think they're two completely separate
I
movies.
feel so too. I think Infinity War. I mean,
No,
like
but
he's saying,
that's
it
what
would
I'm
be
saying.
better.
That's
Yeah.
why I can't possibly put them before Infinity.
I get that.
It's impossible.
Wait, let me get the guy
Yeah,
in the
let's
back.
get one more in the back and then.
That would be awesome. That would be
cool.
amazing.
I mean, he returned it though, so
No, but yeah.
yeah. Messing with
Right.
past Thor. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's like the commercials messing with Sasquatch, you know what I mean? For the we've very like messing with Thor, and it's like Captain America, like the most oddest time summoning the hammer.
I would love if they actually do that. That would be
That'd be
you know
amazing.
what?
great. That'd
Hey,
be great.
maybe they throw that in What If. I don't know if What If's gonna be a comedy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
What If
you
series.
don't
What
know.
if it's whatever they want to
They'll
come up
have
with?
moments like that. One more in the back.
In Endgame?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys think he faked it in Age of Ultron?
So that's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing that he faked it. He faked that.
Oh, in Age of
whole
Ultron?
thing. Yeah, in Age of Ultron, the whole thing is that he faked it. He didn't want to like.
Yeah. Well,
Like, mess with Thor's
yeah,
ego.
I hear the theory is that like because it's a mystic weapon that it has like a sense of aura and its sense, which I like it. I mean, it's not a clarified guarantee that that's a story. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's like the leading concept, and I like it, which is that the hammer sensed everything that was about to happen with Winter Soldier, that he was going to hold that inside of himself of lying to Tony and not telling him about that, and that still didn't make him feel completely.
And that's why he couldn't lift it? Yeah,
And that's
I'll
why
buy
he
that.
couldn't lift
So
it.
the hammer had feelings.
Yeah, and then after
hammer does have feelings.
and after that all cleaned,
That's
after
nice.
it all cleaned up, then he was able to summon the hammer. Especially because he didn't summon it for his own reasons. He summoned it to save Thor, because
Yeah.
Thor was about to get axed through the
That scene was
chest.
awesome. That scene was great.
No question.
So we're gonna take one more and then we're gonna start wrapping it up. Go ahead. Yeah. That's a great way to end
Okay,
this.
what if Disney bought out DC? That's my what if right there.
Wow. Who said? Look,
One more.
We got
One
to
more.
amazing.
Bill, man.
Hold on, we gotta finish that question. Yo, piece. What
Go ahead,
what would be a what if you like? You're gonna do one that's actually on topic.
A what if?
A what if? Yeah. What would be like a story you'd like to see in the what if universe? Based on the movies.
Based on the movies.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah, they're doing what if Peggy Carter got the serum instead or something like that, and became the super.
It could be
soldier.
anything, really.
Or if Bucky did.
That's a good one.
What if Iron Man died in the cave?
No.
Oh wow. Then none of it happened.
What if? What happens?
Thanos just snaps later. Eventually, everyone's like, "What just happened?"
I don't know. That's a really
That's a
tough
hard.
one.
That's a good
really
thinker
tough
to
one.
see like what you would like to specifically see in the what if based on the films. Because there's, I mean, I'll probably aim something to Winter Soldier because I think he started to get underutilized towards
I
the
think it'll
end.
probably be in Age of Ultron for me, but I just don't know what exactly.
What if?
Yeah, a good what if would be a live action Spider-Verse movie, but
That would be great.
that would be great.
To bring in Miles Morales out of the multiverse.
All right, so from that wouldn't be a fair.
Well,
because
one
Endgame
thing,
was gonna-
just to wrap it up, I will, because we had a few people and a few panels. And this one, I feel you in the back corner. We're gonna give you a prize. Come up, yeah. You. Everyone did, but we've had a few other people panels. So you two, yeah, you two, because I've seen the rest of you in other panels. At the end, we'll see you give you a prize again from our sponsor, Ben and Johnny. So yeah, you can go to their website, benandjohnnies.com, and they're located by IKEA. Gets a good, nice, fresh haircuts. Back to school for the kids. So that's again, that's a word from our sponsor, Yo Piece. Our info.
Our info is phoneticallycorrect.com. Just go there and you'll see all our websites. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on Google. We're on iHeartRadio somehow.
That's gonna be the
I
ongoing
have
joke
no
with the
idea how
panels.
it happened. We're also on
Podbean.
Podbean. Just please give us a review if you liked.
Yes.
If you like
Yeah,
what you
that'd be huge.
go back to our old episodes. We talk about all types of topics, so it's not just
Not too
it's not
old.
just comics. It's not just movies. It's TV shows. We
Video
review
games.
TV shows, video games. We just had a video game one. So
Stranger Things, Black Mirror.
so But to answer your question, I think my what if, and I said it, it's probably gonna be what if Quicksilver lived instead of sacrificing.
I really
life.
like that Quicksilver. And something that I bring up that I brought up before about the Quicksilvers, I enjoy the Quicksilver scenes in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing that everyone can agree on is those scenes are great.
Yeah.
But the personality of Quicksilver, Marvel actually portrayed it better, a lot closer to what the comic books were.
Yeah.
He wasn't the funny one. He wasn't the Flash.
We
He
never
was
got
tough.
to see. We never got to
Exactly.
see that.
Yeah, that would have been nice to see, and maybe have him as his assassin years, and
Yeah.
maybe have him as a villain for a little bit longer. So yeah, that's a great what if. I would like to see that in the what if, but I don't think he's in the cast right now. But hey,
We'll find out. We don't know
we
anything
can send
about the
fantasy
what if.
emails, please. What if this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's only a couple that they're reprising the roles just for the audio for those, but most of the people. I mean, there's a long list of everyone who's already signed up to do an episode.
We have a
Wrap it up, guys.
Nerdcessity. Yeah, the Nerdcessity is we got to wrap this up.
All right. Nerdcessity. Listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
That's
just
our
listen
Nerdcessity.
and review us, and just please
Yes,
give us a
please.
follow if you can.
Fanaticcorrect.com. I'll tell you right now, the Nerdcessity is go to the YouTube channel and check out those Melodica men. Those guys are hilarious.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
You know,
those guys-
unfortunately, we don't have them on the intro of the podcast. We weren't recording yet like we were in the other episode. So on this episode, I'm gonna give them a little bit more pop and check out their YouTube channel, the Melodica Men. They're hilarious. We were hanging out
They're
with
awesome.
them in the green room while they were tuning up, and we got some funny video we're gonna share in our Instagram later. So please follow
They
us
did a
and
great
get it.
job just playing every song from Ocarina of Time, which
Yes.
brought me back. So I love that's my favorite video
Yeah,
game.
he
so.
was crying.
Yeah, I was
Whatever.
crying while they were playing. So
But thank you guys.
That's
Appreciate
it. Thank you
guys.
so much for being here.
Yep.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm Omega saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace. Peters.
Thank you again, guys.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.